Considering I've recorded a lot today, this is probably going to be the last video I record because I just had a massive recording session with the new LP and my voice will probably start to give out soon, so I'll probably make this quick. So, welcome to another edition of Platinum Impressions. The thing in, games and stuff, they're talked about and they are also talked about. Yeah. So, today, I'm going to be discussing Kirby's Return to Dreamland, a game in which I got many months ago. I've been wanting for a very long time, but now that it's on the Wii U Virtual Console, I have played it, and I love the game, and it's great. It's really great. Kirby's Return to Dreamland was probably the start of, those modern Kirby games where, the levels are longer and more spread out. And, of course, with brand new abilities, I guess, introduced here. And it was actually during that time in which, Nintendo was trying to bring the 2D back into their everything, like Donkey Kong Country Returns and all that other stuff. New Super Mario Brothers, Tylenol 2D. I don't know what Tylenol 2D is, that's probably the good game. But, anyway, yeah. So what happens in the game? Well, it's kind of after the point in Kirby Superstar Ultra where DDD is not really a bad guy anymore. He's just a king now. Occasionally we'll be like, hey, I'm gonna go for Kirby at times. So yeah, he's gonna do that. Anyway, so Kirby, King DDD, Waddle Dee, and Meta Knight are out and about having a relaxing time and all that stuff, when all of a sudden this giant spaceship comes out of the sky, a la Pikmin style. And it crash lands onto the ground, and the four heroes just try to investigate. Upon going inside the ship and investigating, they find an alien creature called Maglor. To make matters worse, the 5 ship parts have all been scattered throughout Popstar. And also, to make another matters worse, 120 unneeded energy spheres are lost along the ship as well. They're not needed, but they're necessary for extra stuff. So, with Kirby so graciously helping out, the foursome, aka Kirby, DDD, Waddle Dee, and Meta Knight, they go out to find the ship parts, find the energy spheres, but mostly the ship parts, as Maglor will promise them to take him to his homeworld called Halcondra in order to fight off the menace who is behind the crashing once and for all. Now, I won't say anything else here other than it's a simple plot, but let's just say right now, the reveal of the big bad is amazing. It's awesome, for at least Kirby standards anyway. And I will have to say, the big bad reveal for Kirby, it's probably turned out to be my favorite probably my favorite villain in the Kirby series because he's so good. So I'm just gonna leave it at that right there. Yeah. So, if any of you watch my Kirby Triple Deluxe game impressions video, I said that this was I will say that the Kirby levels are longer and more spread out and more intricate this time around. Well, I think this game was basically the start of that. So, you have the bigger, longer levels. I'm just keep on saying that right there and there. Whereas, I'm stuck in the past where all the Kirby levels are kind of sort of long, where they're 2 to 4 minutes long and all that stuff. Yeah, but the basic control of Kirby is, still there. The basic fundamentals of Kirby are still there. You're inhaling things or sucking up their powers, or rather, you're copying their powers and all that stuff. And, you're basically going from left to right. But this time, you can actually have it in a cooperative setting. Yeah, so Kirby's Return to Dreamland actually supports 4-player co-op, first for the series. And I think player 1 has to be Kirby, but the other 3 characters, you can choose what character they are. So you can basically pick King DDD, which he is the hammer ability, and maybe the archer ability as well, because you can hold the hammer and you can charge it up and then it'll unleash an arrow thingy. Waddle Dee is the spear character, and he's also the best character because he has a spear. And Meta Knight, of course, is the sword ability. Now, if you're noticing a motif, they all are very sharp, meaning that they can indeed like cut the rope so you can get like those energy spheres and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's good. So yeah, that's a good thing. That is a very good thing. But yeah, I feel like this was actually really fun to play, and yeah, it couldn't really help that I was basically powering through the game because I just really liked what I played. You know, like the level design was all simple and fun. It wasn't like too hard. It was really easy. But I feel like I'm more akin to like having a fun and easy game rather than a long and hard game, as it were, really. That especially goes for like some of the mini bosses and boss fights of the game, because, you know, me being a Kirby veteran at this point, you know, it shouldn't really be that troubling to beat down the bosses, because, you know, you basically had to hit them over and over again. Unless you're using no abilities, in which case, yeah, you are using no abilities and you have to wait for them to get out the star thing so you can inhale them and spit them back at them. So, yeah, that's a thing. That is indeed a thing. But I do have to say, though, the boss fights may be easy, but they're pretty damn fun, actually. They're actually pretty damn fun. I actually like the second boss for whatever reason a lot, because his name is Mr. Duder. I'm not kidding. That's his name, Mr. Duder. That is easily my favorite name for a boss in like any Kirby game. Just those combinations of words like Mr. and Duder. Mr. Duder. It's so weird, but it's cool. But it's so cool. And you want to know what the boss fights, and you want to know what bosses are really cool? The ones that allow you to use your super abilities. Yeah, I forgot to mention the fact that I think Kirby's Return to Dreamland started the whole super abilities stuff. So, basically, throughout some levels, you can get yourself a really powerful version of some of the classic, you know, Kirby abilities. Like, there's the Ultra Sword, Flare Beam, Snowball, Grand Hammer, and I forget the other one. Oh yeah, the Flame Dragon thing, which is really cool. They're basically like the situational power-ups, you know, the super abilities, in which, you know, you have to do all of that, and basically each one garnishes you like 2 energy spheres for getting into that dimension area where you have to basically race to the finish to get to the energy spheres. But when they make you use them in a boss fight, that's when it becomes really cool. Like the World 5 boss fight uses one of those, and the final battle uses them. And yeah, it's so cool. I don't know what it is, but just the fact that, you know, those abilities are actually used in boss fights, they're cool. I don't know, I just like those sort of things where they're like, oh, you can only use them in levels. No, you can use them for boss fights too. So that's cool. Unfortunately, they're really only like temporary power-ups. They're only used for the levels and or bosses. Kind of wish you could use them anywhere, but whatever. I have to say, it's actually kind of better than the Hypernova ability, actually. Because, you know, the Grand Hammer is so flashy and cool. Like, because you can actually do a lot more with them, is more what I'm trying to say. Rather than just one ability. Like, Flame Dragon just unleashes like a dragon thing that just like burns everything in its path. Ultra Sword is actually the final smash in Smash 4, in which, you know, you do a big slash on things. And what's actually pretty neat is that the Ultra Sword is not just limited to a sword, but it's also like limited to all sorts of things like chopping knives, Meta Knight's sword, Japanese staff thingy. I don't know. I just really like the uses of the different things inside one other ability, I guess, is more or less what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But other than that though, I like the minigame. I like the minigames too. Like, literally last impressions I was talking about. Oh my god, Final Fantasy VII's minigames were like the best thing ever. And these games, they're pretty good. You know, like the ninja minigame has to deal with timing and all that stuff. So that's fun. the shooting game with all the robots. That's actually pretty cool too, and it's actually a little bit of a feature I discovered. On Wii Virtual Console games, you can actually use a little bit of a camera lens on the Wii U gamepad as a sensor bar. So that's pretty cool. Why don't they use that for all the other Wii stuff that's not on the Virtual Console? I have no idea. But they're there anyway, so yeah, that's cool. Trying to think what other mini game was there. I don't think there was another one. But the arena and True Arena are actually here too, and you know, the arena is one of my favorite features because it allows you to fight boss fights over and over again. It's just basically a boss rush mode. And yeah, I didn't really find the arena and True Arena to be that hard. But you want to know what's hard? EX mode. Yeah, EX mode. Because, well, that's basically the hard difficulty of Kirby's Return to Dreamland, in which your HP is cut in, which your health is cut in half. The enemies are now strong, and the enemies are stronger too. So think of it like extra mode in the original Kirby's Dreamland on the Game Boy. And yeah, I lost plenty of lives to a certain boss. They give you all those lives for a reason, because they're going to be depleted by the World 3? No, World 4? Yeah, World 4 boss fight in like a matter of seconds, because that is hard as balls. Couldn't really help that I was using the ninja ability, but whatever. I can definitely say this. When I was tweeting out that one video of, like, you know, this one boss fight that they actually have in EX mode called HRD3, I lost so many lives against that huge robot, I swear to God. It's actually the boss after this one boss fight called Metal General, in which that particular boss goes inside this bigger, like, robot thing, and it just punches you like everywhere, and uses lasers too. That got me killed so many times that you know, the whole Super Guide thing popped up, and I was like, no, I do not need you, Super Guide. I can deal with this on my own. Yeah. I don't know what it is about, you know, Super Guides that gets everyone so mad. It's like, dude, it's like completely optional. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what I have to say about the gameplay. I would recommend, if you wanted a challenge, beat the game once and then you'll unlock EX mode, so you'll have a much more difficult time with that. Fortunately though, the energy spheres are still in the same place, which, can I just say that this is actually the easiest Kirby game to 100%? Honestly, it really only took me like one try, if not like 3 tries, to get all the energy spheres on a level, because I wasn't leaving the world until I got all of the energy spheres. Basically put, there are 120 in all, and if you get all of them, you'll have access to all sorts of, you know, the challenge rooms, and all, you know, the copy ability rooms and all that stuff. And the challenge rooms actually are included in Kirby's Dream Collection, which I didn't even know about until I played them in Return to Dreamland. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that they would incorporate the challenge rooms into Kirby's Dream Collection, so that's cool. That is pretty cool. But what's also cool are the graphics, and can I just say, this is automatically the best looking Kirby game ever made. Yeah, I don't know what it is about how, you know, Kirby can look really simple yet fun. And what are you dreaming about, Tetsuya? What are you dreaming about? Kirby's Return to Dreamland looks really good, honestly. It does. Like, what I really like especially are the backgrounds of World 5, Nutty Noon. It's just a big, like, view of the planet. Like, you're out in, like, you know, space or something with the sun rising. It's so good. It's so good looking. It's so good looking. I don't know why, but backgrounds in 2D games are what really fascinate me, really. Like, what they can do in, like, a 2.5 game with, you know, the backgrounds, it's so good. That's why I gave games like Sonic 4 Episode 2 such really good praise, is because, well, it may be a 2.5 game, but the backgrounds are so amazing. Yeah. It's that kind of thing, really. It is. Like, that's really the only area worth noting. Actually, some areas of World 3 where you can see the ocean are really beautiful, too. And Yeah. Yeah. That's what I have to say about the look of the game. But the music of the game, I actually really, really like too. That area I just mentioned has probably some of the best music in the game too. Like, I believe the song is called Sky Tower, and the song is so good. The boss theme is really good. The mini boss themes are good. Like, when you go for Kirby, you know to expect really awesome music. Like, for the longest time, before I even started, like, playing Kirby's Return to Dreamland, I called their version of the arena, like, the fake version. It's not the da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like that. I called it that. I called the Return to Dreamland arena the fake version. Because that is not real, but once I discovered that it was actually really good and part of the original Kirby GameCube trailer thing, I actually really liked it. It's not the same arena that we're used to, but it's a good thing. It's a good theme. The finale's music, on the other hand, is some of the best music I've ever heard in a Kirby game, honestly. Like, again, not giving away here, but let's just say that, you know, the last, like, world of the game, like, World 8, which is just basically, like, one level and then a boss fight and then the final boss fight. That has probably some of the best music I ever heard in a Kirby game, honestly. Honest and for truly, it is. And it has, you know, some of the best, you know, like, I don't know what it is. It's just that finale was so fantastic. I loved it. I loved it. I guess, really, my problem with the game, like, one of my problems with the game is that it can be considered, like, easy. Like, really, the main mode is kind of like the easiest Kirby game alive. And while it is fun, it is easy. I like a challenge every once in a while. But then again, that's kind of like what EX mode is for. It's just a better challenge and all that stuff, without it being too unfair. Like, yeah, I got the feeling that, you know, Kirby's Return to Dreamland was a bit too easy for my taste, but it was still fun nonetheless. It was still really fun. Which is what this game is. It's fun, it's easy, you can easily get into the Kirby series with it. It's all sorts of fun and good with some really good songs, a really awesome reveal of the bad guy, a really good, like, last 30 minutes, I had to say, or last level and last battles of the game. They're really good. And yeah. That's all good and fun and stuff. I really wish I was more, like, organized with all this stuff, but I don't care. What you see in these impressions videos is what you get. Me rambling on and on about stuff and other such stuff. So basically what I'm trying to say here is get Kirby's Return to Dreamland. It's only like $20 on the Wii U eShop. Go get it. You will not be disappointed with this. If you are a Kirby veteran and you still haven't tried this out, then go ahead and try it out. It's good. It's a good game. Yeah. That's basically all I have to say about Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Fun game. So I will indeed see you guys on the next edition of Platinum Impressions. See you guys on the next time.